Good evening, everybody. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone has had a great day. Just before we get into this video, please make sure that you are smashing that like button. Please make sure that you're subscribing to the channel as well if you are brand new, and hitting that notification bell so that you're always aware of when content is out on the channel. And also, please make sure that you're getting all your thoughts and opinions into the comment section down below. I'm always interested to see what your guys' thoughts are on the subjects that I discuss in my videos. So yeah, we're back again tonight, guys, and this is something that I'm seeing a lot of at the minute. I'm seeing a lot of debate in the Leeds United sphere. Twitter, basically Twitter, because I spend 99% of my day on Twitter, as I'm sure a lot of you do when it comes to Leeds United. And yeah, like I said, a lot of debate on two particular players who we've currently got on loan from Premier League clubs. And if we A, should sign them permanently, B, how much would we pay, and C, would they work in the Premier League next season should Leeds United get there? Now, let's talk about the first one. We'll start off with Joe Rothwell. Joe Rothwell brought in on loan from Bournemouth. Obviously, last season was on loan at Southampton, part of their promotion team that obviously won promotion via the playoffs against Leeds. Yippee. But anyway, Rothwell, I feel like at the start of the season when he was brought in, was somebody who was a little bit of an afterthought, really, because I think we all thought, yeah, he's a decent signing at this level, but couldn't really get into the Southampton team last season. The only thing I really remember of him doing for them was that screamer that he scored at St Mary's. I can't remember who it was against, but we all know the one that I'm talking about. And yeah, the Southampton fan base were very mixed on him as to whether he should have played more for them or not. Then obviously he comes to Leeds, again, another loan for him at a championship club that are looking to get promoted to the Premier League. And as I said, when we first brought him in, I think it was a case of just to have him as a squad filler. And as we saw at the start of the season, we saw Ethan Ampadu and Ilya Gruev start the season as the centre midfield partnership, and we all know how that went. It was, don't get me wrong, it was all right. It got us to a decent enough point before they both got injured, but I can remember watching that Cardiff game away when we beat them 2-0. And even though we won the game and it was a very dominant away performance, a lot of the fan base were very frustrated at that game because it should have been more. We beat them 7-0 at Ellen Road. Probably, I think if we'd have put us foot on the gas more in that game and had some progressive midfielders in the midfield area, I feel like that could have been even more on that day. It could have easily been another 5-6-7-0. So obviously, Gruev got injured at Norwich away, and Ampadu got injured against Coventry at home, which obviously meant that we had to see change. And obviously, Tanaka is another one in this kind of bracket as Rothwell, where we thought he was just going to be a squad filler and that we wouldn't see him that much. But again, he's a permanent signing, so obviously he's not the topic of this video. But the point is, we saw Tanaka and Joe Rothwell both come into the team. And I remember going to the Sheffield United game at home after I'd got back off holiday, and we saw that partnership in the flesh for the first time, and I was just in amazement, in pure amazement. One, given the team that we're playing, a promotion rival, a game where you feel like it would have been won and lost in the midfield, and Joe Rothwell came in and put in an 8, 9 out of 10 performance. Thought it was amazing alongside Tanaka, and them two have got a very good partnership when they play together now. I think it's easily the best midfield partnership at the club. But obviously, I understand that when Ampadu is fit, Ampadu plays. But I think we can all agree if we had to pick a midfield partnership where you don't take captains or anything into account, it would be Rothwell and Tanaka. I just love the way Joe Rothwell receives the ball always driving forward, always wanting to influence the attacks. His passing is not spoke about enough, in my opinion. He's got a very good range of passing. Always knows how much weight to get on a through ball. The link-up play with Junior Firpo on that left-hand side and another player, which we'll be coming on to in a second. The link-up that them three have got down that left-hand side is brilliant. And yeah, I feel like we're a lot more progressive and we're a lot more on the front foot when Joe Rothwell is in the midfield. Now, that has been purely evident in the games against Sunderland and Sheffield United. Now, I will, fair. I can understand why Daniel Farke put Ilya Gruev into the team for those two games. High pressure games where, as I've said earlier, that will probably be won and lost in the midfield. And Gruev is a safe pair of hands. He'll clean it up in the middle, play the safe passes, and yeah, I can understand it. But let's be honest, in both games, Ilya Gruev was not at it. He was not at the pace. You could tell that we were missing Rothwell in the middle. We bring Rothwell on against Sunderland. His set pieces alone, which I didn't speak about previously, his set pieces are, out of this world compared to the rest of the set piece takers that we've got at the club at the minute. He comes on against Sunderland, provides both assists for Pascal Strauch's goals to win us that game. And then at Bramall Lane the week after against Sheffield United, I thought Gruev was poor again. Other than him clearing the ball off of the line in the first half, didn't really do much. You bring Rothwell on in the second half, we end up winning the game 3-1. Again, maybe not all the goals were directly, maybe he wasn't directly involved in all of them, but we were a lot more urgent. We were a lot more on the front foot against Sheffield United once Joe Rothwell came onto the pitch. Would you sign Joe Rothwell on a permanent? Yes, I would. How much would I pay? The fee that I think has been branded around is about 7 million. I think that's probably as high as I would go. And would he work in the Premier League? I mean, Bournemouth were willing to let him go. Is that just because of the quality that they've got in the area and not actually down to his ability, potentially? I think Rothwell could be a very good squad player in the Premier League, someone that you could bring on when games are tight or when games are a bit stretched, should I say, in the second half to hopefully try and influence. But yeah, like I said, guys, hit me up in the comments about Joe Rothwell. What do you think? I would sign him. 7 million at the absolute most. I wouldn't be going any higher than that. And it could work in the Premier League as a squad player, I think. The other player that we've got on loan is Manor Soloman, brought in on loan from Tottenham after quite a troubled time in London. Obviously, I think his first club in London was Fulham. And then obviously he made the switch to Tottenham. Obviously, we remember him well when he was at Fulham, when he scored that worldie of a goal against us in the FA Cup. And at Tottenham, he had a bit of a torrid time with injuries. He's had, 3 major surgeries in his career, and he's only 25 years old. So he hasn't had the best of luck. But when we brought him in, I was buzzing. I was thinking, look, he could easily just take the mick out of this league. He could really cook at this level. But I'll be honest, guys, I think we can all agree. Look, I know he's come good of late, which I will come on to, but those first 2-3 months of the season when he was here, he was injured at periods, wasn't really at it, and we were thinking, oh, this is a guy who you can tell isn't at his fittest at the minute, and it just wasn't working. We had the likes of Nonto and Ramazani in the team at that point, and I didn't see a way in for him, and I didn't see how he could help the team, but boy, was I wrong. From about December onwards, he's come in and he's really cooking at this level now. Maybe not being quite at it the last 3 games, I would say, but prior to Sunderland, the Watford game, he was unbelievable. The Cardiff game, the 7-0. Just even the Burnley game that night at Turf Moor, I feel like he was our outlet that night. I know it didn't, we didn't quite get the result we would have wanted. We come away with a draw that night, but I felt he was probably one of our best attacking outlets on the evening that night. But again, Soloman his technical ability, the way he, his first touch, the way he takes players on, doesn't actually look that quick, but he really is quick. My one slight thing with him is that he doesn't go on the outside as often as what he should or could do. I feel like he does cut in quite a lot when it isn't needed. But other than that, like I say, like, like I said in the video last night, which if you haven't already, go and check that out. But him and Dan James have got a really good partnership as well. The assist that he's putting on a plate for Dan James, the assist that Dan James is putting on a plate for him. The goals and assists, the goal, like I said, the goal contributions, his all-round play, he's affecting games at the minute. And I feel like for the last few months, he's been up there with one of our best players. So, like I say, a player that when we first brought him in, we all thought was going to do well. Didn't have the best of starts. I can't lie. I think we can all agree on that. But boy, is he coming to his own since probably early to mid December. He's been absolutely phenomenal for us. And again, the same questions as we posed about Rothwell. Would we try and sign Soloman on a permanent in the summer? Should we get promoted? For me, absolutely. How much would I be paying? Spurs are not usually the best club to do business with, but if they're willing to sell, 10 to 15 million, 15 at the absolute most I would spend on Manor Soloman. If it starts going up to 20, 25, then we should just walk away from those negotiations. Like I said, Daniel Levy is not the best person to do business with. 15 million at the absolute max, but like I said, 10 to 15, I think I would be happy with. And could he work in the Premier League? I think he could. I think at full fitness, and if he can really get a run of games together in the Premier League, I think he could definitely affect games at that level. Maybe not against the likes of Liverpool and your Cities and Arsenals, but against the other teams in that league, I think he could really do a job for us. And he seems like he's enjoying his season at Leeds. He's enjoying his development at Leeds, and I feel like he'll know himself that he's having a great season now. And he's been one of our best players of late. So yeah, absolutely, I would try and do business for them both. But again, one, it's the fees. You don't want to be getting mugged off by these teams, because they'll know that if we get promoted, that we'll have money and they might use that as leverage. So you have to be smart in those negotiations. But I would definitely be having the conversations about those two players, because I feel like at the minute, they are they're in very, very good form. Very good form. And I think they've both had great seasons for Leeds United. And I think they would be really good and adequate additions at Premier League level as well. So I think we'll leave that video there for tonight, guys. Really hope that you've all enjoyed it. As I said at the beginning, please hit me up in the comment section down below with your thoughts on Rothwell and Soloman. Would you sign them? How much would you be paying? And do you think they would work in the Premier League? Make sure that you're liking the video if you've enjoyed it, as well as subscribing to the channel if you are brand new. And make sure that you're hitting the notification bell so that you're aware of when more content is out. Enjoy the rest of your night, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.